with me. I'm joined by Mr. Julius Kairu. He's a corporate staffing consultant. He'll be taking us now through this menace, toxic workplaces. Karibu sana, Mr. Julius.
Thank you very much.
All right, and Mr. Paminas has told us he won't be able to make it, the CEO.
Unfortunately, so.
He sent you.
Yes,
Where is he going, man?
A few other engagements,
Okay.
as with CEOs.
All right.
But I am here
Karibu
to
sana.
represent him. Thank you very
Karibu
much.
sana.
Thank you.
Now, when you talk about toxic workplaces, I understand you were on the recruiting area, and it's purely HR from your side. Now, some people have been complaining their bosses, supervisors, harassing them in one way or another, burdening them is the word actually, and then it becomes to be kind of a tense working environment. What do you think? What do you think about the whole situation?
Well, for starters, I don't really believe in any toxic workplaces. What I believe is we're just not where we ought to be. You know, we each have our strengths, and we each have places that we would really fit in. You know, some of us would really fit well in the back end. Others of us very nice in front of the camera, like yourself. So
Thank you.
it only makes sense to place our strengths where we to place our focus where our strengths are. Yeah.
Just cutting you short. I'm good in front of the camera, as you've seen. But my boss, yes, I'm good. But my boss has a problem with me. I understand our problem is a two-way. No one can just wake up one morning and hate on you. There must be something that happened. So do you think we are maybe losing the fact that we don't know how to solve our problems, or there's also ego in it? Yes, I might be good in what I'm doing, but I have a problem with my boss, and vice versa. So that's what I'm talking about. Now, we have chosen our areas of specialities. We are good in what we do, but the hindrances as far as now the support is concerned. Yes.
Yes. So one of the things that we need to work on as a country, and especially in our job market, is conflict resolution.
Okay.
You will find that we have not gotten to a place where we know how to resolve conflict. So it's always if I'm not getting along with my boss, then I have to switch the company that I'm working at, or I just have to quit. You see, something like that. So one of the things that we need to work on, yes, there are disagreements every now and then in every workplace. It is very natural. It is very human. But what we need to work on is how do we resolve this conflict? Which departments should be involved? And how do we find an amicable solution that will both benefit the company and everyone working in the company?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Well, for example, now you from the corporate staffing, I believe you work with the team, is it?
Yes, I do.
Now, you have your supervisors, maybe you're a supervisor somewhere. Now, maybe your experience, for example, if you have a problem with someone, we are human, sometimes we kind of trip a little bit. So when you have a problem with your supervisor, do you go and just hate on him or her, or you go and just try to settle this? So that some people even saying that it escalated after they tried to kind of make amends. So is it a personality problem, or what is happening?
It is to an extent a personality problem. We each have our very different personalities, and you might find I am a very extroverted person, but my supervisor might view that as, you know, I'm being too competitive, or maybe I'm out to get his or her spot. So one of the things that we also need to do is to try and think about the other person. We need to consider other people in the workplace, because synergy is one of the things that will help any company move forward. But in case there is conflict, it is always advised, first try and solve it. If it's within a department, try and solve it within a department before even say HR or someone else hears about it. Try and solve it within the department. If it cannot be solved, then try and get the department head. It's not always good to go for the end solution. You know, I am going to take this to social media, or I'm going to quit. You know, those are drastic measures. There's always something that can be done at every step. And yes, there are some times where you have to say, I can actually not do this. You know, the best thing for me to do right now would be to move back, or just to quit. Yes, so there are instances like that, but you should try and get to a solution, and within the department and within the department heads before it escalates to other department and to the administration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, from the HR point of view, have you ever solved any issue regarding to a junior boss and maybe a staff, junior staff? Have you ever solved anything? Because now you mentioned something, competition. Yes, it comes when, for example, you enter into a new entity, and let's talk about papers. There's so many industries of late that have been taking people just as long as you're able to do it, you're recruited. It's not about papers and everything, but sometimes experience and papers kind of make people fear. Now, in this situation, for example, I have a master's. My junior staff has a master's with no experience, but I have experience. Now, already there's fear that maybe this was the entry point to this position I am right now, and this junior staff is coming with the same qualification. So is it also one of the reasons why conflicts brew in a setup? Because we are territorial. What do you think about that?
Yes, I mean, we are very territorial, and we like having job security. You know, I want to be sure that 2 years from now or 5 years from now, I am going to be either working at corporate staffing or still at corporate staffing, and maybe I might be the CEO at that point. But when now someone else with either the same qualification or a higher qualification comes in with maybe little to no experience, then of course I am put on edge. But one of the things that we need to constantly keep doing in at our workplaces is to create synergy, as formerly mentioned. Because if we are working as a team, then our team effort is what is showing, as opposed to you have a master's, I have a master's, you work individually to shine or to progress in your career on your own, and I do the same. So number one, what happens is we will have a lot of discord, because you and I do not have the same approaches. You know, you might be thinking of the end game, and I might be thinking of, you know, what do we do now? What do we do tomorrow? So one of the things that we are always, even as we are placing candidates to various workplaces, one of the things that we try and foster and create, it is synergy at the workplace.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, does it only apply to bosses, or maybe sometimes even junior staff comes in with so many problems?
It's across the board. Okay. It does not only apply to bosses. It is to everyone. And the key factor to a lot of discord at the workplace is competition and job security.
Okay.
Yes. So in a report that was done last year, it said that 70% of employers are not really looking to hire fresh graduates or new people.
Sure.
They want to retain the people that they have. But still, there are around 7 million people who are unemployed in Kenya, and 1.4 million who are actively looking for jobs. Okay, so that puts a few thousand people in every job sector. So you have to try and do your best as an individual. So this is an employee's thinking. I have to try and do my best as an individual to make sure that any one of those 1.4 million people that are looking for a job do not get placed to the job that I'm at. But then we forget that I need to work with my colleague, that I need to work with, and it's not only in the department, because it is not just work. There are other times when you just want to talk outside matters in the office, you know, just something light, something easy. But then you find someone is very cold, you know. So once we start working on this, and once we start sort of even creating friendships at the workplace, then it becomes easier for both employees to other employees and employees to their supervisors.
All right, interesting. Yeah. All right, you see, this whole situation came from Twitter, and you see, we just want to sample some of those tweets, because now it's trending for quite some time. And if just my director can really just put some few of these tweets on the screen, because now, as you're aware, sometimes Twitter becomes the source of so many things that are happening in this country.
Very true.
And right now, as you can see, yes, we'll start with the Shikomirori says, it was years ago, lakini God nimso, my career green ways, I can't imagine. Mpaka now I'm one one of the said bosses lives in my comments. Lives in my comments, being nicer than she ever was when I was working there. Yes, that's actually a cry. Now, moving on. Alex Musioka says, I was sacked once for not receiving my boss call. Wow. Boss's call. Way after working hours. Interesting. And never mind, I was in class. I couldn't believe my eyes when the termination letter cited insubordination. Picked myself up and survived though. That's also another one. All right. Kenyan employers will, okay, so many are actually happening. Kenyan employers, that's Sony Njoki says, Kenyan employers will assign you the responsibilities of 5 people and pay you the salary of 1 person. And they still complain you don't meet your key performance indexes. Interesting. Just moving up. Noreen Nyakumala says, I spent 7 years protecting our support cleaner for job bullies. By the time I switched jobs, she had her diploma and is the same, and is in the name of GOK group as her bullies. Now, to the bolder ones, speak out for the weaker ones. Beyond the cash, we are placed where we are with purpose. Interesting. So, already, those are samples, and let's talk about the pay. Because also, when you say you're given a task of 5 people and you're paid peanuts, it's kind of very unfortunate. What do you think about now the situation that people are subjected, they're kind of harassed in terms of their pay slip? Do you think it's wise, it's also part of toxic work environment, or it's only the personality issues?
Well, when it comes to pay, pay has always been a very sensitive issue.
Absolutely.
Yeah? we all want and think that we should be paid more, but there is also, we have very many different companies, and if you look at the dynamics of a workplace like Kenya, we adapt to technology very fast, and that means that we have got a lot of companies that are coming up. Okay, so you might not expect a startup company with say a few months or a few years of operation to pay you the same that you'd be paid in a big telco, or the same. So those are some of the factors that we need to consider. However, we also need to keep looking at are we meeting, and this is now to especially to the employers, are we meeting our employees' needs? You know, can they be able to sustain themselves? The cost of livelihood is constantly rising.
Absolutely, sure.
So every so often, an employer needs to actually look and ask themselves, can my employees be able to live in this time? So that is one of the things. But above everything, your contract is very key. Okay, once at the beginning of our employment, we get our contracts, and it assigns us our duties, our responsibilities, and everything else now, unless now it is it goes against the Employment Act, everything that you do should be guided by the contract.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting. Something else, trust. You know, trust is a good thing, and let's just talk about responsibilities, because some of us kind of as employees, that is, we kind of lose the track. Now, for someone who can be fired because he or she didn't pick a call, that means I know there's a procedure. In a certain entity, there's a procedure. First warning, second warning, you're called in. But you see, some people tweet, not knowing that these things are just procedures, because they have the legal right to go to be represented for unlawful dismissal. Now, when someone says fired for not picking up a call, there's something wrong.
Yes, absolutely. You should not be fired for not picking a call. Okay, so in most cases you would find there's an underlying issue.
Yes.
So perhaps
unless ni mjengo.
Yes, unless Kesho just don't come in, you know. Yes, but in the formal setup, you should not be fired for something as many as not picking up a text, or not calling your boss, or even arriving to the workplace late by a few minutes, if it's the first or second time. So there's always the first warning, second warning. But again, Kenyans, we do not want to know the law. Very few of us know of the Employment Act. Very few of us know what it says, and how it is supposed to defend us. So many times you'll find someone who is contacting us and they're like, I have been dismissed unfairly, But then when you actually follow up with a story, it was either fair, or even if it was unfair, this person does not know the avenues to use. So we are always telling our candidates, our job seekers, our professionals out there to just make it a point to just go through the Kenya Employment Act, as it holds a lot of responsibilities that the employer owes you as an employee, as well as you owe the company and the employer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, as we're finishing this up, resigning has been a very, very, very big issue in very many companies. And you resign and you're no longer friends with your boss.
True.
Some are very emotional. They even follow you on social media. They even hold on to what you're supposed to be paid. They delay the process. They delay your clearance.
Yes.
Now, I understand you have the right to move on to the next situation. There's so many people out here suffering in the name of being like they resigned, and then you can't even put that person as your referee. You know, it's unfortunate that as much as we're trying to build ourselves, there are people out here who just want you to stall. So talk about these people who, when you resign, you are an automatic enemy.
Well, I'll start with a quick story. I have a friend of mine who we were talking with a couple of weeks back, and she told me she had went to an interview on a Thursday, and was called in for that job still on Thursday.
Okay.
Now, she was
Same
working in another company. Yes, went to an interview, was called in same day, and then she was told, "We'd like you to start on Monday." So she was working at another company. So now she was asking me, what do I do from this point? You know, because I really want to be in that new workplace, but do I give notice? Do I just walk away? What is the right thing to do? You know, and this is what we miss on the employee side. Okay, we want to jump from one opportunity to another as quickly as we can without thinking of the broader repercussions.
It's true.
All right. So from the employee side, there are two perspectives. So from the employee side, what you should do is consider your employer. Okay.
Sure.
Before you resign, first give your notice. Second, ensure that you give time enough for them to get a replacement.
But I think it's resigning as give the notice, not the other way around.
Yes, you give the notice as you look forward to resigning.
All right,
and then you ensure that for good faith, you ensure that at least there's someone else who is taking your position, and if you can, then you can train them on the key responsibilities that they need to succeed in this in your job. And also ensure that if there are anything that you need to hand over, you also do the same. Okay, so that is from the employee's angle. Now, once you do that, unless the employer has an ulterior motive where they do not want you to succeed, there's no way you cannot put them as your reference, because you've given them notice, you've trained the next person, and you've left no gap. All right. Now, from the employer side, sometimes we are human. We are very human, and we do not want to see. Let's say we have someone who came up. Still, in the report that I was talking about earlier, it said that one of the reasons that employers are not really looking to hire new people is because it takes a lot of time, time and resources. It takes between 1 and 3 months to train a person, and between 20,000 to 100,000 to per month to train this person. So an employer is not really looking to incur this cost every 6 months when someone leaves. So what they want to do is at least have someone who will stick with the company for a few years. So when you leave, of course, the employer is, number one, their heart. Number two, they're also thinking about the financial situation. So they might not be as comfortable to act as a referee.
Okay, interesting. Thank you so much, Mr. Julius Kairo, for coming today. And I believe the toxic workplace will be sorted out. There's so many things actually that's just bruise it. And I believe some sort of discipline also being inculcated in such a situation. Thank you so much for joining us.